Hey, exciting people, what's up? What's good? How you guys doing? Welcome again to another episode of Gospel Life News. We are so happy to have you guys again on the blog this week. Another new week, and then we pray that God blessings go with you, your family, your business, and your workspaces. We pray that you get all what you want for the week, and that's because we have you guys in mind. Was over the weekend, we really had you guys in mind, and you guys will see that obviously Gusto TV Africa have you guys in mind with our new developments, with all we have for you guys lined up for the week. And all thanks to you guys for making all of that happen. Anyways, welcome to Gospel Life News. My name is Daki, and let's delve straight into all what happened over the weekend. Two big weeks added back and forth. One of the biggest men in Nigeria, if not Africa, in the world of sports, Amaju Pinnick, former NFF president, and one of the board members of the FIFA board of directors with at the time. And Amaju is one person that at the time when he was NFF president, he had a couple of businesses. At the point he left the president after 8 years, he left the position, then went back to farming up like big. So it's just to tell you that this guy is one of the biggest wig we have out there in the country and Africa. And then we saw where he actually chairmaned an event which he called Warri again. Trust me, I'll give you guys a report of that in the news. Anyways, let's begin today's news with Burna Boy. I saw Burna Boy City Boy's video. I've just surpassed 9 million views on YouTube, and that is an amazing one. Stellar one for Burna Boy for amassing for himself 9 million views on YouTube. And moving on, we saw Burna Boy City Boy spent his sixth week on Switzerland official singles chart at 24. Burna Boy is doing good numbers with this song City Boy. I think over the weekend, wherever it is I step my foot on, like probably a get together, a party, or an event, you always hear the song City Boys and the dance step always come together. It just shows that Nigerians at the time and people all over the globe are really loving this jam, City Boys. At the same time, the album, I told them I've spent another 6 weeks on the Switzerland official run chart, and it's currently at number 93, and that's an amazing one for Burna Boy. Ahead of him is Rihanna, Good Girl Gone Bad, one old song which is currently on 92. City Boys gained over 905,000 streams on Spotify yesterday, a little close to 1 million. And like I said, Burna Boy is having crazy numbers lately. It's daily streams per day. It actually explains what the album is doing at the moment. Crazy number for City Boys, and having about 905,000 streams. You can just tell that the album itself should be growing over 2 million streams every day because the songs are growing. And like I said, tested, approved, and trusted, and that song is growing rapidly on people, and all these numbers are growing almost at the same time. Moving on, so African Giant album have just surpassed 790 million streams on Spotify. And another amazing one of Burna Boy's Giant album was one album that was the talk of the town. Everybody wanted to see what the album looked like. Love the project, love this sounds from the album, love the songs in the album, and this album did good at the time it was trending. But today, the album is still currently doing good now. Having 790 million streams on Spotify alone can explain how much of a success this album was. Burna Boy City Boy is now the fifth most streamed Nigerian song released in 2023 on Spotify. To think that this song was just about a month and some weeks old, having been the fifth most streamed song in Nigeria for a song that is released just barely 2 months, it explains how much people love Burna Boy and how much the song really reside in people's head. I want to say this song lives rent free in people's memory because it has catchy phrases, catchy lines, and obviously the most easiest dance step you can find anywhere in the world. Like I said, City Boy is now the fifth most streamed Nigerian song released in 2023 on Spotify. You can guess number one, right? Obviously, that's been unavailable. Moving on, so Burna Boy, I told them album have just surpassed 160 million streams on Spotify, and then Burna Boy global hit track Last was used as a soundtrack on Netflix series Everything Now. An amazing one for Burna Boy. This is a good one. You see our African our Afrobeat jam being used as movie soundtracks, and these are big movie soundtracks. Ariasta song have been used for big Netflix series and all of that. It just shows that we are becoming the conversation now. I think this is something we should all be proud of because at the moment we all are becoming the conversation. But by one said why they use the words the ugly thingy for his song, he said because at the point a lot of persons to feel like Africans, black guys are the ugly ones, but now these guys are, or we are the hot guys at the moment. Everybody wants to just feel the black guy and all of that. It explains that the narrative is changing and black is becoming the best new color. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy Last ends its impressive run on the UK official hip hop and R&B singles chart. It peaked at number one for 5 weeks. It spent 26 weeks in the top 10 and the record breaking 72 consecutive weeks on the chart. It is the longest running African song in the chart history. Every good thing they say must definitely come to an end. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy and Burna Boy and Phyno were locked up in the studio, and this is one thing we love to see. At the point Burna Boy came out to say one person in love in the industry was Phyno at the time, and it looked like after times went apart, they both grew separately, and they found their path differently. And it looked as though they were not in talking terms at the time, man, because we didn't see pictures of them together and all of that. But now we are seeing them back in the studio, and then people are asking questions: what should we expect from Burna Boy and Phyno? Trust me, if I was to advise you guys, expect greatness, because Phyno, one of the best out there, Burna Boy, the very best out there. So what should putting two amazing guys in the studio, it has to be bumper, and then we're waiting to see what these guys are doing or have done together. Moving on, we have Davido as the next guy on the news. We saw on Friday Davido stunned the world when it was caught in school uniforms, and this was something that I'm sure would have dropped like some years back. But Davido went back to school uniforms, dancing with the dream catch that guys, and an amazing body of work. We saw little children who were dancing to Davido's feel at the time, amazing kids, and at the point where this catchy part of the song came on, and that is once the song goes, they go feel it, they go read it now. The catchy part came and then Davido appeared, all dressed up like them. This Davido appeared, the big man here, coming to do the old dance step for them, the 1, 2, and then the dancing thingy. The kids were so excited, see their faces gloomed up with laughter. The fact that they could see or share the same studio space or the same dance space was one of the best out there from Africa. Shows that this is what they will cherish for the rest of their life. Same picture when they're old and they will see the fact that they were with David at the point in their life. It is one moment they will never, never forget in a hurry. Moving on, we saw for the US iTunes, Davido feel made a peak at the time when it came out 35, but currently it's on number 44. And then the film music video have just surpassed 5 million views on YouTube. Another amazing one for Davido. We saw Davido at a show in New Zealand where he brought out his friends. Who is his friend? Talking about Israel Adesanya. An amazing guy. He called himself the Stylebender, one of the best boxers we have out there. The last fight he was on, he was defeated, but obviously we know him to be someone who bounced back, and we're expecting his comeback game as soon as possible. And then we saw Israel come down to say, forever creating legendary moments. Shout out to Mr. Obio, also known as Davido. It's a different vibe when it is your own people doing it. Uniting the world through music, we all are one. And then it was amazing one. We saw where Israel and Davido were walking through the tunnel, and then Israel asked Davido, said, at the point you said, back when you were broke, and he said, David, when were you broke? Davido replied saying, I was broke, oh. And then I think that's still our question. Davido, when were you ever broke? Moving on, Unavailable have just surpassed 88 million streams on Spotify, and Feel at the same time as is growing rapidly and is currently just surpassed 30 million streams on Spotify. Just about the weekend on Friday, it was Warri again, one of the biggest shows in the part of the South South, especially held in Warri, a part of Delta State, and we saw where it was attended by the biggest of guys. Obi Kubana was there, and name is one of the biggest in the industry was there to represent the culture and what they stand for. And we saw amazing people paid money, paid ticket fee, worth about 30,000 naira at the time, just to witness greatness perform in front of them. And it was said that Davido was set to perform, headline the show at the time, and apparently he didn't make it to the show. So Amadi Pinnick, former NFL president, come now to explain what happened, and then he said, "We paid Davido the sum of $94,600. That's about 94 million naira plus, and we also arranged a private plane for him worth about 18,000 US dollars, and they've paid since April. They've made that payment since April. Recall that Davido came out in March." So they made the payment just after he came out in March. Came out March 31st, and then they made the payment just after March 31st, April 6th precisely. That's about 6 days after he came out. And for a show that was supposed to be held, supposed to hold for October, so they paid him like about 6 months before the show. And sadly, he didn't make it. And Amaju Pinnick thought that the best way to have approached that was to come out and say it on stage. And then he also added the fact that if Davido thinks they can treat the Warri guys like this, they're going to make sure that he doesn't perform anywhere in Warri, stating the fact that Warri doesn't take nonsense, and if you want to bring it that way, they're going to give it back to you the way you're bringing it. Because if claims to say Warri people love respect and they are going to cancel the day in Warri, at the same time, it went further to say, after all, Davido is not the biggest artist because Burna Boy is the biggest artist at the time, and that was where he broke the camel's back. And I saw Davido replying saying, nobody can stop me from performing anywhere in Nigeria. Worry, I will see you soon." And then he went further saying, "Throwing stone, but you didn't leave for glass house." And there's a saying that saying, "You don't throw stone if you live in glass house." What does Davido mean by this? We'll see it from in further tweets. We saw Davido saying, after the back and forth, he went on saying, "You know what? I will be performing in Warri by December. I want to see who gets mine. Stop me. Body go tell you." Warri people hate you, talking to Amaju Pinnick. He said, "And you know, Amaju, come out, let's talk. If I'm returning any money, I will return it to any football charity organization. In fact, I will double it." Mr. Dream Crusher. Imagine how many Nigerian footballers have had their dream crushed because person won't live for Ikoyi by force. "I want to donate money to the NFL official. Been suffering for too long is not fair. Let's do something at Puma." Davido, we all know, is signed up to Puma, and then he's saying, calling on this guy, saying, "Guys at Puma, let us support the NFL because people are suffering at the NFL." And then he went further to say, "You know what, to my lovely fans in Warri that spent their hard-earned money to come out, apologies. You had to experience this. I was not going to be physically able to I'm able to make it, and this had been communicated to them for a long while now. I mean months ago, but for reasons best known to them, they continue to promote the show using my name. It's a shame, but especially for my fans out there, don't worry. You know I gotta bring timeless to Delta State. We will do it proper, bigger, and better." And then we saw Davido's friend, his accomplice, talking about Israel. Israel came out to say, "Amaju, tell the whole world the real truth of what happened. Agreement is fully agreement, and Oga would never joke with that. You coming on stage to hype Bonner over Oga wasn't good at all. The same Bonner was still alive. You should have just contacted him than wasting Oga time. You claim to love your Warri people that much. Where is the money you collected from? Where is the money collected by you from FIFA to build a befitting stadium for the same Warri people till today?" So Israel is saying, "Oga Amaju, you also are a fraud because you also got money from FIFA and you did not do anything for the Warri guys." I'm still on the same show, Warri again. We saw AY comedian coming out to give a blasphemous joke where he joked about Davido's sex scandal at the time, and it was a very maybe not much of a funny joke because people took it the wrong way, and then AY had to come out to say, "You know what? I'm sorry," and he penned down a long note to Davido, and then he said, "I am so sorry for telling that joke the way it came out in Warri. I shouldn't even call it a joke anymore. It wasn't funny like it was during my tour of the US and Canada, and you have every right to be angry after seeing how the blog used it. Please know that it's always a learning experience for all of us in the entertainment business. I deserve any backlash or negative thoughts coming my way for the joke that was badly delivered in Warri. So, no, no excuses at all. My Aburo, no reason now. I remain your number one fan and I love you." At Davido. Davido replied saying, "Nothing spoiled about me." And then AY said, "Davido, one love forever." Amidst all of that, we saw other fans coming out to say, "Yes, it's true. We have paid David some money and David has failed to show up." This person is saying, "Davido, honestly, it's shameful that you appear rich. You are not a classic guy. While you might be loved by many, you are actually a thief." And that's all he's saying. It's actually true. I've heard several brand managers for big companies complain that it doesn't fulfill its obligations. Someone is saying, like Big, 176 million I paid these dudes. So she is saying she paid them the sum of 176 million naira, and then and she cancelled three shoots costing about 218 million because if this, according to her, she's using some foul language which I cannot pronounce on air at the time. So she's saying, um, so basically just complaining, saying Davido disappointed at the time, and she paid Davido the sum of 176 million, and she cancelled on about 218 million, and all of that failed because Davido failed to show up, and then she went on calling him names and foul languages at the time. And someone is saying, "Wait, Was it not since last year October you paid him that 100 million? So Dude still not participating, not cool. So at this point, yeah, you could just say some could be cloud, some could be real, but then people are saying yes, Davido doesn't show up most of the time when he's called up for shows. So Davido coming out to endorse Odomodu song, and then he's saying Odomodu Black has been on replay since. We saw Davido having pictures with the governor of Delta State, and that's talking about Sheriff at the time, and then His Excellency Sheriff, and Davido is saying, "You said I can't perform where?" So basically, the point is, if I can do your governor of your state, why can't I perform in your state? As straightforward as that. Moving on is Wizkid as an S guy on the news. We saw Wizkid at the time using his mom picture as his display profile picture at the time, and this was coming after he lost his mom, and Nigerians came out in numbers to say rest in peace to Wizkid mom at the time. Anyway, they brought out procedures for how she will be laid back to Mother Earth, and then it's going to be happening on the 13th day of October at the Redeemed Christian Church of God of David COD Church Road at happening in VI basically. So this kid is going to be in Nigeria in Bez, especially for the funeral service of his mom at the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Mind you, these are all strictly by invitation. Moving on, we saw Wizkid and London having amazing time playing PS5, and it just shows that Wizkid knows exactly how to spend his free time and free moments. Ricardo Banks came out to shake the whole Twitter space yesterday, where he announced the fact that him and Sherry Vibes might just have something coming through. And then he had this picture. He had actually this thing. He said Ricardo Banks shaking out with Sherry Vibes. What it basically means is Ricardo Banks featuring or collaborating or helping or working together with Sherry Vibes. How would that sound? I'll let you guys do the comment. I'll let you guys do the thinking, because for me, I feel like Ricardo Banks, great artist, Sherry Vibes, amazing artist, coming together on the song is going to be bonkers, and we all can't wait to see what these guys have done together on a song. My name is Daki. We'll catch you guys on the very, very next one. Stay safe, guys, and be careful.